Hello again, you lovely lot. My name's Lou. I'm a Manchester United fan. This is my second video on my very own channel. Hopefully some of you saw the first one and have come back for some more. Maybe some of you are new. I am glad to be doing this video after a win at the weekend, and I don't care if it's deluded, if it's over the top, blah 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 blah. All the celebration police will be out giving out to me, telling me I'm not allowed to be happy. But I am so pleased that my team got a win, a convincing win, and a good performance in the same match for the first time this season. Yes, I know it was Sunderland, but no harm. That's a match that we could have easily lost, and that there's many a day we might have lost. We definitely lose 5 out of 10 of those matches if we play it like 10 times over. So I'm really, really, really pleased to be going into the international break on a win. I do think it changes the whole mentality of the team. It changes the mentality within the fan base as well, because you don't just have 2 weeks of or a week of picking the bones of a loss over and over, and whose fault was it, and is the manager going to get sacked, and all the headlines and blah blah blah, and it just creates this whole negative vibe. And because you don't have another match to replace that result, it just hangs there for ages and ages. So I'm really, really pleased not only that we won and that we got a good performance, but also that we're not going to have to spend the whole international break just being miserable and picking the bones of everything at our club. Obviously the problems don't go away. Obviously everything isn't fixed. All the problems that were there before that win are still there. But it's nice just to, I'm a football fan. I watch football because I want my team to win, and they did. So I'm going to be happy and enjoy it. As you probably know from the first video, I do then like to pick a little topic out of that and kind of hone in on it. So the one I want to look at today is the goalkeeper. Woohoo! We got Lemens in goal. It wasn't Bayindir or Onana. We had a goalkeeper that knew how to keep the goal. It was his literally only function, and he did it. And he was shouting at defenders. He was catching the ball. He didn't give it back to the other team. It was like a miracle. Several miracles, one after the other after the other. So I'm a very happy camper about that right now. Anybody who has seen me on the Football Terrace will know that I have been talking since before the transfer window started at the start of the summer, saying we need a striker and we need a keeper. We need a striker, we need a keeper. Because while I understand the people that say we need a CDM, and we do need a CDM, I don't think it was our priority for this window, because I think we've been without a consistent or just an out and out striker, like a clinical striker, for far too long at Manchester United. And to be quite frank, one of them isn't enough, but I'll take one over none. And look, as much as Rasmus Højlund, I wanted him to succeed so badly, I don't think anybody's out here calling him a clinical striker, not during his time at Manchester United. Obviously at Napoli he seems to be doing really well, which I'm delighted, I'm so pleased for him, and I was so sad it didn't work out. But he wasn't at United a clinical striker, so we definitely need to get one of those. My jury's still out on Sesko at the moment. I do hope he's going to be fantastic. It was nice to see him get a goal, but I want to see more, so I'm holding off my judgment on that one a little bit. But a keeper, oh my goodness, because a keeper doesn't just keep the ball out of the net. He doesn't just maybe keep you in a game, or potentially win you a game. If you manage to score more goals and he's not letting them in, he can help you win the game even, which is fantastic. But it's also the confidence that he puts in his teammates in front of him, and you can see how the players in front of him played differently than they play in front of Bayindir or Onana, or where they're having to run back or be afraid or not move forward as much as they would, or not take up positions they should be taking up, because they're afraid if they do that there's going to be a mistake behind them. There was at one point, I'm pretty sure it was Matthias de Ligt, practically runs the length of the pitch to give him a big hug, and you can see the difference it makes, not only in the goal but outside the goal and for our outfield players. So I'm so delighted. Now, I wanted experience, striker, experience keeper. But do you know what? I am not against Lemens. I didn't know a huge amount about him before we got him. Obviously, everybody watches the highlight reels. You can Google everything. But I wasn't watching him week in, week out. So I didn't have a set opinion on him. So I'm going in pretty open. And whatever I see is what I'm going to judge him on. What I've seen so far in this game, I really, really, really like. I hope we carry that into Liverpool. But before we get too carried away with ourselves, it's just nice to have a goalkeeper in the goal that keeps the goals out of the net, that is as I said, he's catching it. He's not parrying it back into danger. He's like, come on, you can see him shouting. And I suppose that is a concern when someone's maybe a little less experienced, a little bit younger. You're thinking, okay, is he going to be able to, you know, control his teammates, tell him where he wants them? You know, it's his box, he needs to be in charge of it. And I think he put that to bed, certainly in match one. Now we need to see him do it again and again and again, obviously. And his next match, I'm assuming he's going to start for Liverpool. His next match is going to be a pretty big test for him. But it's one that I have a little more faith in than I did before I saw him for this match. So, you know, hopefully he'll be able to build on that. Hopefully he'll have stronger connections with his teammates at that stage, because obviously the longer they spend together, the more they're going to understand each other, the better that connection is going to be. There's going to be even more control, more like teamwork, and it's just, as a United fan, it's just making me so happy right now. So I'm going to enjoy this while we have it, because it might not last too long. It might all come crashing down the next match, and really that's what it's all about, isn't it? Enjoying when your team's doing well. But definitely we have been crying out for a good keeper, and it looks like maybe we have found one. So hopefully that's actually going to continue. Obviously we are in the international break. I don't know if I've mentioned it in this video, but we're in the international break now. Boring. Sorry, maybe your country does well in international football. I'm Irish. International football is not for me. So I'm going to be looking into other things that are interesting during the international break. One of the things I'm hoping to do is look at some of the younger players that we have out on loan. How are they doing? It's something that I'm really interested in as a fan, so hopefully some other fans are going to be interested in it too. Going to do a little bit of research into that, have a look how they are, do a little bit of a like midterm report for them for coming up to Halloween, and hopefully I'm going to share that then with you guys maybe on Thursday, just another short video like this with a little bit of information on how they're doing. So if that's something you're interested in, keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully it's something you'll join me for. If you've any other ideas or things you want me to talk about, please do leave it in the comments and I will check those out. As you can see, I'm quite a small channel at the moment, so I can reply to everybody individually. Everybody gets special treatment on here at the moment until I blow up. But no, it's I really would appreciate some comments. Let me know, so I'm not just talking in the dark and I'm talking about things people actually care about, because let's face it, there's a lot of content that's there just for content's sake, and I don't want to do that. Thank you very much if you have watched all of this video and all of my ramblings. Please do hit a like button, I would really appreciate it, and I will hopefully speak to you on Thursday.